Hello everybody, I hope you have had an excellent Monday, and I wanted to say a big shout out to some birthdays. Y'all having a birthday today, and Marco, he had a birthday today, and my ex-husband, Barry, had a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday and happy anniversary. And I thought we would start with chapter 7 of our book, Once An Arafat Man, a true life, true story of how a PLO sniper found a new life. And we got our copy right here. And if you see a orange striped kitty run up, he's new. We brought him from the neighbor downstairs who passed away about a week ago. And his name is Frankie. And other kitties are starting to get acclimated to him. The kitty, Frankie. Alright, here we go. Chapter 7, Stranger in a Strange Land. From the tiny window of the commuter plane, I saw white in every direction as we descended toward the Columbia, Missouri airport. White sand. If so, I would fit right at home in this place. I searched the horizon looking for skyscrapers. After all, this was the middle of the America, correct? Surely its business towers clustered together here in the center of the country. The minute I stuck my head out the aircraft door and headed down the stairs, I got a rude awakening. The white stuff was not sand, but snow, something I had only seen in pictures. The February wind cut through my t-shirt like a bayonet. I fumbled to put on my coat I had bought in Rome in the airport, then hurried across the tarmac to get inside the terminal. Tassier, I heard my friend's voice. You made it. Welcome to America. What a great feeling it was to see Hassan again. I had known him since I was 5 years old back in Jeddah. Wow, it's cold here, were the first words out of my mouth. Yes, it's winter time. All right, he said, but wait till summer comes. It gets plenty hot. You will see. We collected my luggage and then headed into the town in his car. He talked the whole way, explaining everything from traffic signs to what certain buildings were. You can stay with me in my apartment. It's right by the University of Missouri campus. I'm studying engineering there. He went on to describe some of his classes. All of a sudden, I was no longer listening. I could not believe what I saw out the car window. A man was jogging along the street with absolutely no clothing on, not a thread, and it was freezing cold out there. Before I could say a word, 2 more runners came along following him, just as naked. a man and a woman. I gasped at the sight. My father's words about America being the land of the great Satan echoed in my brain. So this was what he meant. What is this? I finally choked out my question, interrupting Hassan's monologue. Oh, that's a new fad. Just started up here, he said calmly. They call themselves streakers. For a long time here in America and even in Europe, there have always been nude beaches, but this is different. They want to shock people, so they go running in the streets or out onto a sports field, or they'll go into a bar that way. Go in the bar that way with nothing on. Uh, don't worry, it will be over soon. Coming from the Middle East where men and especially women cover themselves from head to toe, no matter how hot it gets. This was a jolt to my senses. I did not fully catch my breath until we settled into his apartment that evening. Hassan did his best to make me feel comfortable, but of course he had to continue his studies. On one of the first Saturdays, he went to the library to work. I was tired of being cooped up in the apartment with nothing to do, so I decided to go for a walk since it had gotten a little warmer outside. I explored the neighborhood and came across some interesting shops. I had no map and I did not know enough English to be able to read the street signs. When I decided to head back toward home, I wasn't sure which way to go. Was my destination down the avenue or that one? Gradually I realized I was lost. Fear crept over me. How would I ever get back to my friend's place? I chided myself for being afraid. Had not I already faced danger in my life? Had not I looked into enemy gun barrels and did so with courage? What was the matter with me? But these were Americans on all sides. They favored the Jews, not me, and I had no weapon to defend myself. If some of them caught me and realized I was lost, they could do terrible things to me. I began to swear with worry. I began to sweat. I began to sweat with worry, even though the temperature was still cool. I kept trying one street after another. The city had now lost its attraction for me. Darkness would come soon. What would be my fate in this scary place? The streets of Columbia, Missouri somehow seemed more frightening than the underbrush of the West Bank. I wandered on and on, peering around every corner. 3 hours later, Hassan came racing up in his car. Where have you been? He shouted out the window. I have been driving all over you. What were you thinking? I crawled into the passenger seat of his car and wept like a little child. I was emotionally exhausted. Hassan, I have fought in the war. I have fought in war, I finally said, and I was not afraid of anyone or anything. But today I found out what fear really is. He laughed and replied, "Well, I'm glad I found you at last. Now you really have to get busy learning English, Tassir. It's the only way you are going to make it here in this country. Not such a bad place after all." For the next 45 days, I did not leave Hassan's apartment. I immersed myself in two TV programs a day that taught English to children. Hassan brought me the newspaper every day and Time magazine every week. I struggled through all of it, trying to grasp as much as I could. I already knew the English alphabet from my French classes back in Qatar, so I was acquainted with the various sounds. I kept trying to put them together into the English words I heard all around me. Whenever Hassan's friends would come over for a party, I would pick up more of the casual terms and slang. Hassan started laughing. "Well, how about that? I bet you're never going to..." Wait, sorry. Lost my page. Soon I found out that the American school system had a marvelous alternative for finishing high school. The GED, General Educational Development. We did not have to sit through all the classes like I had been struggling to do back home. If you managed to pass 5 big tests, you could graduate quickly. What a great invention! I immediately set my sights on this goal. The more time I spent with Americans, the more I realized that they could be nicer than I had expected. No one seemed to want to kill me. No one tried to abduct me. I picked up no hints of a secret army waiting to get me. Instead, people were congenial and open. Their attitude was friendly and cheerful. I was genuinely surprised. I met a few Arabs who were attending the university, and they spoke positively about their experience in the country. There seemed to be a great value for equality and fairness. No one called me refugee or immigrant. I'm on the phone. I kept waiting for somebody to put down the Palestinian and praise the Israelis. But that subject did not seem to come up. Maybe I should stay in this country, I said to myself. It has a lot of advantages, doesn't it? So I brought up the subject with Hassan and his friends. "I'm thinking of staying here in America," I said. "How would I do it?" "What kind of visa do you have?" they asked. "A 5-year multiple entry one. I can stay for 6 months, but then I have to leave for 6 months before I can get back in again." "Well," they explained, "if you want to become a permanent resident and get a job, you have to get what is called a green card. It's your key to the future." "How do I get a green card?" I asked. They started laughing. Well, you can go through all the application process on your own. Or if you want the easiest and quickest route, you simply marry an American woman. Huh. Now, there was an idea I would have never thought of on my own. On the hunt. That spring, Hassan decided to work in Kansas City for the summer, 125 miles away, and was ready to meet eligible girls.